What's poppin', everybody? This is Cerebral4. I'm back with a brand new deck profile, and today we're going to be looking at my version of the mighty Blissey V in Expanded. So, Evolving Skies has come out. Blissey V definitely isn't any dragon from that set, but unfortunately, I tried my best. I couldn't get any of the new stuff to show you guys, like no Rayquazas, no Dragonite Vs, Duraludon. I really wanted to get at least a playset of some of those cards and be able to show you guys a brand new deck from Evolving Skies, basically, cards from Evolving Skies. But I couldn't do it. I opened more than 60 packs of Evolving Skies and I had horrible luck. I mean, to give you guys an idea of how horribly unlucky I was, I only pulled one Flaffy, an uncommon card, from like more than 60 Evolving Skies packs. It's crazy. I think it might have been like over 70 packs. So, bad luck. Couldn't even get stuff like Dragonite, which is no Rayquaza. People asking for 18 packs and stuff. You guys know how it is when the set is fresh and all of the new cards are sort of overpriced, overhyped. But it is what it is. I did manage to acquire a lot of cards, Blissies, Quasols, even Crobats, and I think I might be close to building Eternatus eventually. So I should be able to show you guys some new decks, and hopefully we are going to collect some Evolving Skies cards too, soon. But for now, we're going to be looking at this Blissey V. Now this card is pretty powerful from Chillin' Rain, so it's still quite new in a way. V Pokemon with 250 HP, a kind of a handy ability that might come up with a natural cure. When you attach an energy, you can recover all special conditions from this Pokemon. And the main attraction, the Blissful Blast attack. For 1 energy, you do 10, and then every time you attack after you do the damage, you can grab 3 energy cards from your discard pile and attach it to this Pokemon. This can be basic energies and, more importantly, special energies too. So the possibilities for boosting your damage and gaining effects are endless with this Pokemon. All of the special colorless energies we have around that have come throughout the years, all of the older special energies that are around and expanded, you can grab them, put them onto Blissey, and its attack is really going to snowball. Like, snowball is the appropriate effect, the appropriate phrase for this Pokemon. Because as it snowballs, it becomes unstoppable. And if your opponent doesn't check it quick, this guy can get 1-hit KOs on VMAXs and pretty much anything. Now, this card is based on the Mysterious Treasures Blissey, which is one of my favorite cards from back in the day too. Of course, this one is much stronger, and we're gonna build a deck around it in Expanded. So it's a very simple Pokemon, just a basic. Doesn't really need a lot of or any Stage 1 or Stage 2 support or basically any partners. You just need some effective methods to discard energies in the discard pile so you can grab them back, and then maybe a little bit of support or disruption. Now, I tried to build this deck with Milotics. I tried different sort of versions to build it around because we are going to take advantage of its tanking too, 250 HP. Just very easy to heal and maintain. But I had to change it around with Hyper Potions. We're going to look at those eventually. But for the main Pokemon, of course, you got to max out this Blissey V. Full playset. This is our main attacker, Pokemon we want to open with. Definitely want to get energies on it and keep attacking quickly. Get the first attack if you can and sort of snowball our damage. So that's the point. Then I have 2 Urangurus. Just a very easy to throw in Pokemon in this deck. With Instruct, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. We have a lot of discard outlets and a lot of cards that are essentially a minus when it comes to the hand anyway with Battle Compressor. So as I empty my hand, you know, Ranguru can be pretty good. Even if you just draw 1 card, it's pretty nice. It could be something useful, could be something you can play down. So it's pretty good. So I run 2 of them because we don't have a lot of basic Pokemon. And then for the other possible attacker, but not really, is Tornadus. This guy and these guys are basically, I mean, Uranguru is here for Instruct, but he can also attack this Eye-to-Eye. This is just a V Pokemon, our only attacker, so if we do play against Rowlet or Decide I guess, I do want to have at least a few outs. There's no way to negate that guy's ability in this deck, so having a few Pokemon like Tornadus and Oranguru that can attack those guys are good. And pretty much all of the energies are compatible with them. They'll be able to make great use of the double colorless energy and powerful colorless energy. This guy can discard special energies too. He's a decent little Pokemon. Now, in almost every other matchup, you don't want to attack with him. Even if you open with him, you probably shouldn't spend your attachments on this guy. You want to find a way to switch, attach energies on Blissey V quick, and attack quick. Blissey is all about setting up and gathering energies, putting up the pressure quickly so you can grab energies. If you don't have a lot of energies on Blissey, she doesn't do a lot of damage. So that's basically the point. So that's why I'm saying this guy is basically a decide I take and that's it. Or I guess a wall to take a hit in the beginning if you open with them. Alright, the rest of the Pokemon are going to be support. I've got the Mew here for bench barrier. Why not? I mean, get that bench protection. Then I've got Sudowoodo here, a Pokemon I don't normally run, but we can afford to in this deck with Roadblock. This is going to mess with your opponent's bench. And in expanded, strategies like Snorlax are still played sometimes. Eternatus, of course, is always a big one. It's going to stop that deck. And that deck is quite fast. And Blissey would have some problems with it too, like if it sets up super fast. We're not going to have enough time to gather energies and then heal. Eternatus is going to kill us. So with Sudowoodo down, that should check that deck. And they got to just pull him or something and kill him if they want to get their highest damage potential. And then one Dedenne. Dedenne GX is great, of course, for consistency and draw, but in this deck, it's going to be a discard outlet too for our special energies. Another method to discard those cards, and then Blissey can grab them when it attacks. So that's basically the point of Dedenne. I do have actually like at least 3 Crobat Vs. I managed to acquire them. Yeah. So don't be surprised that I don't have them here. It's just there isn't really a reason. My main stadium is the Path of Peak, so those cards are going to be dead. Today is just something we're going to try and use early. If we can't, then it's fine. But I can't really fill my deck with a bunch of Pokemon that are going to get negated by Path of the Peak. Oranguru isn't affected by the stadium. That's why I favor this guy instead of Cricketune. And, other cards like Crobat and stuff that could speed up this deck's speed, essentially. Okay, so these are the Pokemon. Very simple, just 10 basics. So we have a lot of space for 38 trainer cards and energies. Very straightforward. Like I said, Decide could be a problem, but that's why we got these guys in. And anything else besides Honchkrow is fair game, which I'm going to talk about later too. Now for the trainers, we max out the Quick Ball. This is an amazing card for this deck. It's just our way to get our basics, grab the Blisseys and the other Pokemon quickly, just set up our bench and field really fast, and discard outlet for energies. Same with Ultra Ball. Before, I used to have Feebasses and Milotics, like I've said, so this card was even better because it could grab Milotic too, as opposed to just having the one Dive Ball that I had before. But even without those guys, being able to grab the Dedenne, anything really, and just being a double discard outlet. I don't have Computer Search in this deck even. I got the Gold Potion for our A-Spec. But yeah, even if you don't have like Stage 1s and Stage 2s and stuff and other Pokemon Quick Ball is going to be better than Ultra Ball in this deck since we don't have any evolved Pokemon. It's still a solid card. It's like I have the 5th Quick Ball in a way. Discard outlet, like I've said, and Searcher, then double Nest Ball. And this is going to do it for our Pokeballs, I guess, our Pokemon Searchers. They're basically 4, 6, 7. Solid enough number. And then I've got the double Battle Compressor. This card is very broken in a deck like this because it's going to dump our special energies and we can immediately grab them with Blissey once it attacks. So it's like a Searcher in a way. Now, technically it is a minus, so the Yu-Gi-Oh player in me doesn't want to favor it too much. But I definitely prefer this much better compared to something like Hapu. Hapu is not very consistent. I see a lot of people using that with Blissey, but I don't like it. You can discard a bunch of your valuable resources randomly, not dump enough energies. With Quick Balls and, Battle Compressors, you can just set up your discard pile more consistently. Of course, there's always the combos with if you don't have a supporter, you can dump a supporter, and then if you have Via Seeker, grab that with Via Seeker, and your hand is no longer dead anymore. So you can do that stuff. Get rid of Pokemon that you probably won't need, like Tornadus, or like Mew in certain matchups, mid to late game. So thin your deck. It's a very good card. We're not going to go overboard with it. 2 copies is enough for this deck. Okay, a spec of choice, I briefly mentioned it, is going to be Gold Potion. If you weren't running Gold Potion, the best other options would be Computer Search for more consistency, and maybe Dowsing Machine, but not really. Dowsing Machine, there isn't really anything that valuable to recover back. You might as well run Computer Search. But in my deck, since this is just basic Pokemon, we have enough room for trainers. I can make the deck consistent enough. Very self-sufficient, very easy to use. Like Blissey just runs on its own. So I decided to do Gold Potion like I do in most of my other tank decks. Just massive healing, heal 90, and you don't have any costs or conditions to pay. I mean, at this point, as we get more and more HP on Pokemon, Gold Potion isn't going to be the same. Like back when it recovered 90 damage from like EXs with 180 HP, or even some of the Primal and Mega Evolution Pokemon, like when I used to use this with Primal Kyogre. But it's still a decent chunk, heal 90 damage, and it should go a long way, especially if we combine it with Hyper Potion. Now, I do have 3 Hyper Potions, as you guys can see here. I see some people using the little Psychic Tin, whatever the hell potion card that is. Discard a Psychic Energy and then heal 80. You can run that if you want, but I don't want to run basic Psychic Energies in this deck. I don't want to run that combination. It's not going to be live if you don't have a Psychic Energy on Blissey. And I just rather use Hyper Potion. Healing 120 is much better than healing 80. You discard 2 energies, but it's fine. We can just discard a double colorless. And it's just a better number. Healing 120 on Blissey. If you have the Fury built on, you know, it just a lot of the times puts Blissey in a position where they can't get that 2-hit KO. It becomes a 3-hit KO no matter what they do. And it's really, really strong because you will need Blissey to survive, maintain its position on the field, so you can keep the energy and attack for high damage. You sort of need that setup. So Hyper Potion, I found it's the best card. Milotics that heal all the damage from the Pokemon, it's just too slow, doesn't heal enough damage, it's also stage 1. I tried to use it, in the end, Hyper Potion is superior. Even though the discard cost is kind of steep, losing 2 energies, we can make it work, trust me. You guys are going to see in the matches. So 3 of these, we probably won't always use all 3 of them. I might have to discard 1 or something, but just have 3 and the Gold Potion to have enough general healing in this deck. Okay, then I've got some general techs you'd find in most decks. 2 Field Blower is important. Get rid of tools on Garbodor, get rid of annoying stadiums. Other tools in general, you gotta have it. The 1 Rescue Stretcher, of course, great card. Recovery, you don't necessarily need it in this deck because, like I've said, we have 4 Blisseys. You might not even use all 4 in a game, but maybe we'll recycle the Denny, I guess. You never know what might happen. I might have to open with it. It dies. Then I can use it in the future. Reuse Mew, I guess, if it dies, if they pick on it. It just depends. So I decided to keep it there. It can be the 5th Blissey sometimes. You never know. But, I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to drop it for a different card. But I decided to keep it in. Then we got double switch. Switching outlets are important in this deck. Blissey has a large retreat cost, and they could decide, they could try and get it stuck if you don't have an energy to attach on the new one, so you can start attacking, or get some of these other guys stuck that also have big retreat costs too. You know, you don't want to spend an attachment to get rid of them from the active position. So switching is good. Lets me do some plays with Guzma too. So gotta have at least 2. Great card. Trainer's Mail, boost the consistency further. The double Via Seeker needs no explanation. reuse our supporters. And for our tools, I have 3 Fighting Fury belts and 1 floatstone. An additional switching outlet is good. And I've got the adventure bag to search these cards too. So it's really nice for targets. Another searching card, consistency card, boost the speed of our deck. Getting the Fury belt quickly on Blissey is important. It gives us that 10 extra damage, which could matter, and puts us at 290 HP on a basic. So very difficult for your opponent to one-hit KO. You could try something like the boot thing. What's it called? Like the G. It's the G VMAX. Oh no, it's the VMAX cape, giant cape or whatever. And then there's the other boot pad. I forgot the name, but I use that tool on Don Van. With 4 retreat, you get 50 HP. You can use that, have 300, but I'd rather get the 10 extra from Fury Belt. Just 10 minus HP. I'd rather get the bonus damage. So that's why I run Fury Belt. And these are basically the item cards. Now for our supporters, I do 3 Cynthia, Chorus since this is expanded, double Professor Juniper. It's a discard outlet, but at the same time, you don't want to go too overboard with it. So I decided to just do 2. 1 N, got the Skyla, and then the 1 Guzma as opposed to Boss's Orders. I decided to do Guzma. It's another switching outlet as well. You can do Boss's Orders if you like. You could do, yeah, Boss's Orders or Lysander. But I decided with Guzma for this deck. And basically that's it. Very simple supporter line. We got a Ranguru for a little bit of additional draw if we're kind of stuck with nothing much in our hand. And yeah, not really much to say. Nothing else to really add on the supporters. I guess you can do a 3rd Juniper if you want. Take out the Skyla, but I kind of like it. If I want to instantly search a Stadium or Gold Potion, Hyper Potion, it's just reliable like that. Skyla, get you exactly what you need for the game state. You could take out like a Cynthia, I guess, for the 3rd Juniper. I had the 2 Junipers when I had the melodic line, but I've kept it since, and it's been running okay. So, yeah. It's kind of painful when you have to discard, you know, your potions or your VS Secrets and stuff with Juniper, so kind of conservative with 2. Should be good enough. And then the last thing to talk about is the energies. Now, this is where you can really experiment and change the deck up a lot. I see people using basic psychic energies so they can use the psychic recovery tin card, like the psychic drink. I see people just using fire energies, using the welder engine. You can also definitely do that with Blissey. You can do all sorts of things, and if you use those methods, you sort of become more immune to Honchkrow. Now, the way I have the deck built like this with all special energies, it basically means an auto loss to Honchkrow. Like if they play first, they set up, we don't get to attach, then we're basically dead. Now, on the flip side though, if we do get that attachment and get at least 1 attack, and we can grab like 3 energies from the discard pile, then Honchkrow, no matter how many Enhance Hammers and Crusher Hammers they use, if we just keep 1 energy around, then we can just continuously attack and grab energies back. So their effect doesn't matter at this point. So you're not fully helpless against Honchkrow. But it's mostly going to be a bad matchup if you play against it. But I decided to just keep it like this and just have a better matchup against pretty much everything else. The energies are kind of simple as well. I guess stables you have to run. Powerful colorless energy and DCE. This gives you the best bonus when it comes to damage. Colorless energy gives you 20 on your colorless Pokemon. So it's like a strong energy, it's like a muscle band. DC is the same thing. It's basically 2 energies for 1 attachment. So it's like you also get the bonus in that way. It's perfect. It's also perfect for getting rid of just 1 card for Hyper Potion. So you max this out for sure. Then I've got double weakness card energy. This is going to be our method to get rid of a Blissey's weakness as well against fighting Pokemon, fighting decks, or fighting techs like Marshadow GX. You don't have to worry. and your tanking goes to hell. With this, we're going to be immune. We're not going to have a weakness. So this card is also important. You got to run it. Then I do 1 recycle energy. This card is also amazing in this deck, and the point of this is basically once you grab this from your discard pile after you attack, you always know if your opponent kills you, this goes back in the hand, so you always have a new energy to attach on the next Blissey. So if you don't have anything, if you don't have another energy, if you go overboard with dumping your energies and then you're worried, well, I'm not going to have an attachment to manually attach, this fixes the problem. It is absolutely, I can say with confidence, you don't need to run more than 1. I only have 1, but just 1 is enough. You don't need more than 1. It's just going to recover itself back from the field every time you discard it. It's another great thing to discard with Hyper Potion because you just get it back. You can attach it if you didn't have another energy to attach for that turn. Just lots of different combos you can do and plays this deck can make, which makes it quite good. So recycle energy, definitely good to run in this deck. Secures its copy here. And then for the last energy, I've got the lucky energy here. This is also kind of nice. It gives me draw power and consistency. Every time they attack Blissey, it's going to give us a card. So it's nice. I decided to run this card too. It just works nicely. Plus, it's the lucky energy. It goes with the theme of Blissey, like the lucky punch in the game. Right. So the energies are 12. There isn't any method to search these energies. I don't have Energy Lotto in here because it's 12. I mean, don't really want to take anything out. I guess you could take the stretcher if you wanted to, put like an Energy Lotto, but I mean, with the draw cards and just a decent number of energies with 12, I don't have problems not seeing an energy when I need to. And at the end of the day, we just need 1 just so we can make that first attack. And then we're going to grab the rest from the discard pile after we dump them. And this is essentially the deck, guys. Oh, and I couldn't forget the stadium. Stadium of choice is going to be Path of the Peak. Now, doesn't affect Blissey. We lose the sort of natural cure ability, but it doesn't matter at all. It's going to hurt our opponents a lot more. So, yeah, I think I touched on Path of the Peak a little bit, but it's a stadium of choice. 3 of them, and it's going to mess with our opponents. Just negate abilities on all rulebox Pokemon. Vs, GXs, EXs even, Prisms. It's going to be very frustrating for our opponent. So this deck has a good disruption aspect since we can run this card. It's easy to use, self-sufficient, speedy, self-sufficient like I've said. I mean, Blissey just grabs energies on its own. It's fast. It has a lot of other tricks with the Hyper Potions and healing, the recycle energy, boosting your damage with powerful colorless energy. It's just really good. So this is the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to see you guys at the matches. I have a lot of matches to show with this deck. Once again, I'm sorry I couldn't get like any Dragonite, show you guys like a Dragonite deck, Rayquaza deck. I mean, at this point, Rayquaza, you would need like 300 packs to build that deck. The way I see it, I see Rayquaza V's going for like 40 Evolving Skies packs and stuff. Whether that's like the secret rare versions or whatever, it would be impossible for me if I couldn't like pull a few of them. You just can't build the deck. Couldn't even get like some of the more low-end cards like Dragonite or Gyarados. Unfortunate, but we'll get by. I'm sure I'll show you guys decks with those cards eventually. So thank you guys for watching. SaberWolf94, and I'll see you guys in the matches. What's up?